the smell of fresh paint. You ever notice a smell that just feels wrong? Not rotten, not foul, just off, like something trying too hard to seem new. That's how it started for me, a faint sweetness, synthetic, clinging to the air of the old apartment block where I'd been wasting my late 20s. The kind of place that buzzed with tired fluorescent lights and rumors about which neighbor had finally skipped rent. My floor smelled like damp carpet and forgotten dinners, until that morning. When I cracked open my door, the hallway was hazy with that sharp chemical scent. And across from me, a new couple was moving in. Young, fresh-faced, matching smiles that didn't reach their eyes. "Just finished repainting," the man said cheerfully, lifting a box labeled books. His wife waved, a little too long. Behind her, I saw blinds drawn tight, though the sun was spilling in. The smell hit stronger when their door shut. Paint, thick and wet, but underneath it, something heavier. Like the air after rain, when the soil's been turned and disturbed. That night, I woke up coughing. The scent had crept into my room, soaked into the sheets. I pressed my face against the vent, and it felt warm, too warm for air conditioning. The next morning, there was a smear of white paint on my doorknob. Perfectly fresh, still tacky to the touch. I told myself it was nothing, just maintenance, just neighbors. But every day that smell grew denser, like it was trying to push me out. And every night when I turned off my light, I'd hear something from across the hall. Soft, dragging sounds like furniture being moved, or something heavier. That's when I realized the paint wasn't just covering walls, it was covering something. At first I told myself it was normal. People make noise, paint smells, the brain fills in gaps when it's tired. But the nights stretched longer and the sound grew stranger. Soft dragging, yes, but uneven. Like something heavy being pulled in short bursts. Then silence, followed by a low rhythmic hum. I started sleeping with the TV on, just for company. But around 2 a.m., the signal would flicker to static every time, no matter the channel. And through that static, under the hiss, I swear I could still hear that humming. I called the landlord one morning, half embarrassed. "There's something wrong with the air vents," I said. "The smell's getting worse. My walls feel warm." He went quiet for a long time. Then he asked, almost cautiously, "Which apartment?" "2B," I said. The line stayed silent. Finally, he exhaled and said, "2B's been empty for months. The last tenant never checked out." And then he hung up. That's when I started watching. At night, through the crack beneath their blinds, I saw light. White, liquid, unnatural. It didn't flicker like a bulb. It moved like water reflecting something from below. The smell, too, kept mutating. Chemical one night, coppery the next. I tried knocking. Once, no answer. But when I pressed my hand to the door, the wood felt soft, like it was still drying. I pulled my fingers back and saw faint streaks of white paint clinging to my skin. Fresh. The next morning, the hallway reeked of thinner. A trail of paint drops led from their door toward the basement stairs, vanishing into the dark. I should have called the police. But curiosity, it's a disease. And that night, I crouched beside the vent and listened. There it was again, the breathing, deep and steady, but this time closer. I whispered, "Hello?" The breathing stopped. Then came 3 slow taps from the other side of the wall. Deliberate, waiting. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, my door had been repainted. Perfect white. And scrawled faintly into the paint, almost invisible unless you caught the light just right, were the words, "Welcome back." The air was thick, sweet, chemical, choking. It clawed down my throat with every breath. My walls, my sheets, even my skin carried that smell now. It wasn't paint anymore. It was something alive. That night, I couldn't take it. The noise started again, soft dragging, then the hum, but lower this time, almost human. I grabbed my phone, its flashlight trembling in my hand, and stepped into the hall. The corridor light flickered like it was trying to warn me. Their door was cracked open, just slightly, just enough to see the gleam of something wet crawling out from underneath. I should have turned back. God knows I should have. But something in me, curiosity, madness, I don't know, pushed me forward. "Hello?" My voice came out muffled behind the scarf wrapped around my face. No reply. Just that smell, thick as syrup. I nudged the door. It swung open with a quiet sigh. Everything inside was white. Not clean white, wrong white. Like the color was trying too hard to erase something beneath it. The couches, the tables, even the curtains dripped faintly, as if freshly painted. And the floorboards, They moved. A slow ripple traveled beneath the surface, like something shifting just under the paint. Breathing. I stepped closer, and the wood sank a little under my shoe. The flashlight caught streaks, darker veins, twisting under the white like tendons under skin. In the center of the room stood a single bucket, perfectly still. I knelt beside it. The surface of the paint quivered, glossy and wet. I leaned in, and that's when I saw it. A human hand, half submerged, pale as plaster, fingers curled upward like it had tried to claw its way out before drowning in the white. The paint around it began to tremble, then bubble. The floorboards heaved once, a deep shudder, and a wet sound came from below. The sound of something massive dragging itself up through the layers of wood. I stumbled backwards, slamming into the wall as the bucket tipped, spilling thick paint across the floor. And beneath the spreading white, a faint reflection stared up at me. My own face, smiling. I didn't think. I just ran. My shoes slapped against the concrete, smearing streaks of that thick red across the hallway tiles. The smell followed, heavier now, metallic and sweet, curling in my throat like smoke. Behind me came the sound, that slow, deliberate scrape, wood splintering, paint peeling, something forcing its way up from beneath the floorboards. I didn't dare look back. The apartment door creaked open wider as I hit the stairwell, and I swear I heard it, breathing, wet, labored, human. By the time I reached the front entrance, my lungs were burning. I burst outside into the cold air, gulping it down like water. The street was silent, no neighbors peeking out, no lights flicking on, just me and that smell still clinging to my clothes. I turned back. Through the building's top window, a dim light flickered, white, not warm. It pulsed once, then again, like a heartbeat. I called the police, told them what I saw, what I thought I saw. They came, eventually. 2 officers, their faces tired and unconvinced. One went up, the other stayed with me, watching as I shivered under the streetlight. When the officer returned, he was pale. He said the apartment was empty. No furniture, no smell, no couple, not even a drop of paint, just white walls, perfectly dry. They told me to go home, to get some rest. Maybe I'd imagined it. Stress, fumes, insomnia. But that night, as I lay in bed, I noticed something new. The air vent above my head had been freshly painted, white, smooth. And when I leaned closer, I heard it again, that faint, dragging breath. It was softer now, patient, like it was waiting. I shut off the light and pressed my back against the wall, heart hammering. From across the hall, the sound came again, slow, deliberate, closer. The smell of paint seeped through the vent, sweet and wrong, filling the room. That's when I understood it was never paint. It was someone, and they were still here. They came back the next morning. 2 officers, same tired faces, same polite disbelief. One carried a clipboard, the other a flashlight. They walked me upstairs step by step like I might faint at any moment. I didn't. I just wanted them to see. But when the door to that apartment opened, it was spotless. Walls bright and bare, not a single drip or stain, no furniture, no smell, just emptiness, like the place had never been lived in. The officer ran a hand along the wall. "Fresh paint," he said casually, almost impressed. "Probably the cleaners. You sure you didn't mix up the unit number?" I didn't answer. I was staring at the floor, same boards, same grain. But they looked different now. They didn't move, didn't breathe, just lay there, still. They left after 15 minutes, promising to file a report that I knew would never exist. The hallway was quiet again, too quiet. When I got back to my own apartment that night, I could smell it before I opened the door. That same heavy sweetness, paint, and something else. Inside, the air shimmered faintly like heat rising off asphalt. My heart climbed into my throat. I turned on the light. The walls looked fine, the floor fine. But then I saw it. On the wall beside my bed, there was a handprint, white, still wet. I touched it. The paint came away warm, almost pulsing beneath my fingers. I didn't scream. I didn't run. I just stood there, staring, realizing that whatever had been under those boards hadn't stayed there. Maybe it never had. Maybe the smell had been its way of moving, of spreading. Now every night I leave the window open, hoping the air will clear it out. It never does. The smell always comes back, thicker, closer. Sometimes when the house goes quiet and the streetlights hum, I lie there listening. And if you stay still long enough, you can hear it too. That slow, wet breathing beneath the floorboards, waiting for a second coat. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, It really helps the channel grow. Subscribe for more daily horror stories and share this one with someone who loves a good scare. Thanks for watching and listening. There's another story waiting for you on your screen right now. I'll see you tomorrow night.